If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What makes a great pair of glasses? At Warby Parker, it's all the invisible extras without the extra cost. Their designer quality frames start at $95, including prescription lenses, plus scratch-resistant, smudge-resistant, and anti-reflective coatings, and UV protection, and free adjustments for life. To find your next pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses, or to find the Warby Parker store nearest you, head over to warbyparker.com. That's warbyparker.com.
Welcome to Gardening with Ben, your go-to podcast for all things green and growing in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned gardener, a budding enthusiast, or just curious about cultivating your own slice of nature, you're in the right place. Join me, Ben, as we explore practical tips, inspiring stories, and the latest trends in gardening to make your outdoor space bloom with life. From allotment adventures to wildlife-friendly gardening, I'm here to help you grow your passion and reap the rewards. So grab your gloves, roll up your sleeves, and let's get started on this year's gardening journey. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gardening with Ben for your midweek episode. It's Wednesday already. Time is certainly flying. Hopefully we will be at the weekend pretty soon, and hopefully we won't have any snow this weekend. Hopefully we can actually get out in them gardens, get out in them allotments, get some fresh air, and enjoy being back in the garden or allotment again. I know I certainly am. I managed to get down this Sunday, only for a bit, just to feed the birds, but yeah. That's all I've been up to down at the allotment this week. Well, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's episode, as we were talking all about sowing your onion seeds rather than sets and the benefits of them and whether they're any better than sets or not. So if you've not checked out that episode, go and listen to yesterday's episode and catch up on that one. We're certainly trying different types of podcasts now. We're going to be talking about
why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with any base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
different things to sow, when to sow them, and talk about growing them as well. So I hope you're enjoying these podcasts. Well, today we're going to talk about another seed that you can sow now, which is perfect for sowing now, really, as onions obviously need that head start, and the other one is peppers and chillies. Now, usually on the seed packet you'll see so around February, March time, but that's usually where it's a bit hotter. So I grew peppers last year and I sowed them in March, and it was too late. They were only just fruiting around September time, and they didn't come to much. They didn't get big enough to be able to harvest them or do anything with them. So starting them off now gets them growing faster and hopefully fruiting a lot quicker than they did before. So hopefully we'll get some good results this year. And there's many varieties of peppers out there. You'll obviously get your big supermarket type peppers, your red, yellow, orange, green peppers. And you'll also get smaller varieties of pepper, capsicum, I think they're called. And obviously you'll get chilies as well. Chilies are pretty easier to grow because obviously you don't need to grow them to the big size of peppers. They just grow to the little size of chilies, and usually you get a lot more growing on the plant at the same time. So we're going to be trying to grow a variety of both of them this year, as I've not done chilies for quite a long time, possibly about 10 years. So we're going to give chilies a try again this year and try some, not too spicy. I'm not a spicy person, but I'm going to try some chilies, see if we can get some growing. And like I said, now that I'm in a new flat, I can actually cook in it, and yeah, I can actually experiment in trying to grow different stuff. So I'm going to try growing some chilies again this year, and we're going to grow some peppers. We're going to grow the standard type variety, and possibly the smaller varieties, the capsicum ones. We'll see how we get on with both of them. So if you're sowing them now, obviously one way of doing it is actually going to the supermarket and buying the variety that you want to grow, as it's full of seeds and it'll be cheaper than buying a packet of seeds. Trust me. You'll get absolutely hundreds of seeds inside a pepper. So sometimes it's cheaper to buy the actual produce and get the seeds out of them. And have a look, scrape them out and dry them out. And once they're dried out, then you can sow them. And they're pretty easy to sow. Usually I'll put a few in a plant pot and pick out a few, some of the strongest ones, and then pot them on, and etc, etc. But the thing is with growing peppers, obviously you've got to remember they are a hot country fruit, as they're usually grown in like Spain, Brazil, places like that. So it needs hot weather, so you can't necessarily like grow them outside. If you get a lot of hot weather, maybe, but you need to think about growing them either in a polytunnel, in a greenhouse, in one of these makeshift greenhouses, what are made out of plastic. But obviously make sure that the greenhouse is fastened down well, because they do blow away easy. So, or in a conservatory. But if you're growing them in a conservatory, you've got to remember that they won't get pollinated. Because obviously you won't be getting bees in there, you won't be getting flies in there, hopefully. So they won't be getting pollinated as easy. So you may have to help them with the pollination by getting a paintbrush and pollinating each flower and stuff like that. So if you're wanting to grow them indoors, possibly pollinate them yourself. But if you've got an ideal place like a greenhouse or a polytunnel to grow them in, you could get some great crops from them. And obviously we've got our polytunnel, so I want to make use of the polytunnel a bit more this year, and hopefully grow some peppers in there, and hopefully grow some watermelons and other melons in there as well. We're going to give them a little try this year. So, like I said, if you wanted to grow some peppers, go to the supermarket, buy the pepper that you want to grow, scrape out all the seeds, dry them out, put them on like some kitchen roll or something, let them dry for a week, and then sow them into some soil. And obviously, like I said, a few in each pot, cover them back with soil, water them, and then cover them over with cling film, as that will work as a greenhouse. It will keep them moist, it'll keep them warmer. Peppers need about 25 degrees to germinate, so there's no point sticking them in a greenhouse hoping that they'll germinate, because they won't. That's why I started them off in March previously, because I didn't have a windowsill in my old flat. But now I've got a windowsill at this one. So I've brought them home. It's obviously nice and warm and toasty in my flat. So they need about 25 degrees to germinate. So once you've got them to germinate, grow them to a decent size. Then you can put them into individual pots, grow them on, and then possibly around March time, April time, take them back down to your allotment or into the greenhouse. It won't have to be heated, and continue growing them. And then obviously when it gets to like June time, you can actually grow them in the polytunnels and stuff like that. They won't need to be heated because they'll have plenty of warm temperature. Fingers crossed, we didn't get much of a summer last year. Hopefully we'll get a good one this year. Fingers crossed, we certainly need one, as we certainly didn't have a very good summer, or possibly one of the reasons why the peppers didn't do very well at all. So they're pretty easy to grow, and like I said, if you're wanting to get good produce from them, and if you are struggling with bees and insects around, just pollinate them yourself, even if there is pollinators around, and you possibly may get more produce by doing that. And obviously, the more you keep picking them, the more they'll keep producing, especially with chilies. Keep picking them off, and you'll get more and more growing on them throughout season, and they could be fruiting up till October if we have decent weather. So they'll produce absolutely loads of chilies. So it's well worth growing a couple of plants. By saying a couple is, don't growing like 6 because you'll be inundated. Trust me. When I first grew them previously, I had about 8 plants because I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm getting bags full off every single week. And wow, I couldn't get rid of them. But yeah, we'll be growing a few plants down there. Knowing me, I'll still plant all the seeds and probably get hundreds of plants growing at the same time. But yeah, we're going to give them a try this year, growing some peppers and some chilies. So like I said in yesterday's episode, obviously you can start onions now and you can start peppers now. If you are starting them off on a windowsill, make sure they don't get legate. Make sure they get enough sunlight. Keep turning them around and keep them watered, obviously. You don't want to be growing them somewhere where they'll stretch and grow leggy and they'll not be any good, and then you'll have to start more seeds off and start from scratch again. So yeah, if you want to try something, get some peppers and chilies growing on a windowsill and let me know how you get on. Let me know if you're going to be growing some peppers and chilies in your garden this year. Like I said, pretty easy to grow, and peppers aren't that easy, but the chilies usually are easy. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. As always, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. I hope you've enjoyed our chat and picked up some tips to help your garden and allotment thrive. Don't forget to stay connected with me on all social media for even more gardening inspiration, updates and behind the scenes content. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. Just search Gardening with Ben. Hit that follow button or subscribe button and join our growing community of garden lovers. Until next time, everyone, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben.